Hello out to everybody, Becky and Aaron here.
Hello.
So we want to do another video. This one's going to be on marriage and specifically kind of revolving around loyalty. Loyalty and commitment, you know, doing the hard work of cultivating your relationship.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think that marriages are not automatic? They don't just fall into place. You got to work at it, right?
Yes.
How long have we been married?
Going on 24. 24.
24 years almost.
Woo-hoo-hoo. And then, let's see. So we've known each other since we was 4, 5. You was 4, I was 5. And then we've been friends, besties our whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's see, we dated off and on, for about 10 years and then got married. So we have been in a relationship longer than we've not. So we've been working at this a long time. And it's still work. We're still learning each other, still, turning over things about like, oh, I didn't know that, or,
Trying to find balance.
oh, that irritates me.
Nothing I do irritates
Oh,
her ever.
no, you're the bestest, baby.
So basically, people are all hot to trot and excited to get married. They're putting their best foot forward. They're putting on cologne, they're combing their hair, they're driving across town, they're doing whatever they can
Got
to
mints,
get
gum,
to
everything.
they're opening doors, they're being sweet all the time. They're overlooking things that may annoy them in the future, all to get the prize, right? But and then once people get married, these are general statements. Once people get married, all that effort just goes out the window. Everything, people get lazy, people get slothful because that's our nature. And after a while, things start kind of slowly but surely falling apart. One of the worst things that destroys most marriages it's not the big things, it's the little tiny neglect that people take each other for granted, and they don't choose to do the little things that show the other one, I love you, I'm thinking about you,
100%.
saying words out loud like you mean so much to me. I'm doing certain things around the house because I know it's going to take a load off your plate, or just that little bit of consistent effort. People overlook those little things, and
Right.
those are actually the major things, don't you
For
think?
sure. 100%. Or if I'm doing laundry and I notice a bunch of your socks have holes in them, I'll make sure I grab socks when I'm at Costco.
That's right.
Or if I hear you talking about something, I make sure I grab it. If I see it, I make sure. So you're like, oh, thank you. Like, oh,
That's right.
and
That's right.
you're just,
I don't even ask for it. That's right.
yeah. So then I'm thinking about you throughout the day, and it makes you feel special. Because I know when you do that for me, it makes me feel special. 100%.
Well, and even, don't you think, now in the technology age, which we didn't have when we were younger, you can send each other a little text or something and just say, hey, miss you, thinking about you. And that can, it might sound silly,
Yeah.
or it might sound monotonous, but it's nice during the day just to get a little message that just says, hey, somebody's thinking about you,
send
somebody
me little
loves you.
kissy emojis throughout the day.
Little hearts, little kissy
Yeah.
emojis.
And that didn't used to be your...
That wasn't my
wasn't
MO.
your thing.
Nope. I had to learn how to be affectionate, and she
Yeah.
helped me.
That wasn't your thing.
The way I learned it is this
Yeah.
woman that I married, she speaks her mind, which is wonderful, because dudes don't know what you're thinking. I
Right.
don't care what kind of dude you think you have, or what kind of husband you think you have. He doesn't have any clue what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Women are a mystery.
Yeah.
And so
You're not
mystery
mind
women
readers.
need to be able to speak up and just don't assume we know, or
Yeah.
that we should know, which technically might be true. I'll give you that. But
Yeah.
We really don't know.
Yeah.
And so we need to be told, hey, I'm missing you, or hey, we haven't spent enough time together, or hey, we haven't been affectionate or intimate together. We need to know these things,
Yeah.
because
How many times have we talked to people and they're like, well, I didn't say anything because they should know. Well,
right,
maybe they should know, but obviously
it's not that
they're
helpful.
obviously they're not getting it, so you need to say it, and don't wait until you're saying it snotty.
Yeah.
You know, to say it before you're upset.
So
Don't wait.
marriage is it can be whatever you make it.
Absolutely.
You know, however much effort you put into it, that's how much you're going to get out of it.
It
It's
can
like,
be heaven or hell.
right,
You choose.
it's like a garden. As much as you cultivate and take care of, make sure it doesn't get attacked by bugs, make sure the weeds don't overtake it, make sure the critters and stuff don't come up and eat the stuff
The
out of your
moles.
garden. You have to take care of it. You
Yeah.
have to protect it and hold it like it's precious. It does not happen automatically. I got to keep saying that.
Yep.
You have to work at it. Marriage is hard work.
Yeah.
And at the foundation of marriage is loyalty.
Absolutely.
You need to have a commitment. And this is hard because we're all a little bit insecure, and we're all probably a little bit suspicious, especially early in a relationship. I don't think we're that way too much anymore because we've been married for this long, but it could be that if you haven't established that absolute, almost fanatical, I'm going to purposely use really dramatic language here, like fanatical, crazy loyalty and commitment that's like almost like a suit of armor that you wear, that you would not dare do anything to violate that loyalty and that commitment, because once you start chipping away at that armor and that neglect, insecurity creeps in, and little resentments creep in, and you start to feel, whether it's the wife or the husband, you start to feel a little empty. And it doesn't the subtle thing, don't you think? It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It happens little by little.
No, and even though we knew each other our whole lives, right when we said I do, there's still insecurities there. There's
Sure.
still trust issues there, just because you're bringing along baggage from whether it's family, whatever, curses or whatever, or you're just your own projection. So it just is, it's got to be constant where you're talking about this. And what do you say, careful negotiation. You're constantly trying to not be upset when the other one is saying that they're feeling insecure or having a trust issue. Don't feel defensive about it, even if you've done nothing so far to break that trust, because you're building that up throughout the years. And so sometimes it's not even warranted, but you just have to consider where that person's coming from.
That's a good point, because even if you don't feel like their feelings are legitimate and that you don't feel like you have done anything to make them feel neglected, if they are feeling it, it's real.
Yes.
Whether you like it or whether you want to consider it or
Absolutely.
not. And so just being humble enough to be like, okay, I need to change things. I
Right.
need to make more time. I need to make sure I'm not allowing other things to creep in that might kind of slowly start leading my heart in another direction. And when we talk about loyalty, we have to talk about our natural, how do I want to say this? Men and women have a natural sexual appetite towards the opposite sex. And when you get married, you're supposed to make a commitment or a covenant with your spouse that you're not going to, obviously, you're not going to look at anybody else.
Right.
You're not going to consider anybody else in an intimate or relational way.
Right.
You're literally, don't you think, you're locking yourself into a room or a house with that other person, and nobody is allowed in that space.
Right.
Nobody else is allowed in
Right.
that intimate space.
Sure, but I think people are too scared to say, you know, I think I want to have more sex,
Mm-hmm.
or or people are, not communicating about that,
Yeah.
or they're opening themselves up to pornography, or even just the stuff on TV these days is
Sure.
just very sexual,
Yep.
and everything is sexualized. And so, we've been married going on 24 years, and you think, what about this is exciting, and then you're watching this stuff and there's people on there, and they're brand new hormones, and they're ripping each other's clothes off. You're watching that stuff, and after 24 years, I mean, you're thinking, oh, so
Right.
you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you to keep yourself away from that stuff, because it's like, well, it's not like that anymore for me. Well, maybe it's up to you to make things interesting, or to talk to each other about, you know, or stay away from things because you're, I don't know what else to say besides you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're allowing things to creep in
Yeah.
that aren't even the right expectation. I mean, how?
Right. Well, and you have to be. I'm going to use the word fanatical about fanatical again. That you have to guard your imagination.
Because you've let something in
Yeah,
that locked room, that
you-
locked. You remember
right.
that locked
You've
door?
let somebody else into that space, whether it would be TV or internet or something like this. You really had. And we're obviously, anybody that's seen any of our other videos, we're coming at this from a Christian perspective. We are a dedicated Christian husband and wife, doing our best to live a Christ-like life and set that example for everyone around us. And so we believe very, very strictly that you should not be looking at another person to desire them. You should not, from the woman's side and the men's side. Everybody,
Yes.
everybody gets on the men, probably
Yeah.
rightfully so, because men have wandering eyes,
Maybe
and-
more so than
and
women.
men
but
are
women
more
are just
visually excited, or more visually interested in looking at the opposite sex. I know women's side is probably a little bit different, but you have to be loyal enough to where you will not even consider letting your imagination run after certain things. You got to keep that thing on a leash. I mean,
right.
Paul talked about it in 2 Corinthians 10, where he said, bringing every thought into subjection or into obedience. You cannot allow your mind to run through scenarios and start entertaining things that are sexual or immoral, that don't have any. If you want to fantasize about your
Right.
wife or your husband.
Right.
Fantasize about them.
Right.
Think about them in that way.
Yeah.
But you really have to abide or live in that locked room.
Yeah, because maybe that's the problem, is that you have not spent enough time in that aspect.
Sure.
And that's where we talked about in the beginning that your marriage is what you make it.
Yeah.
You're so busy, wandering, that you've not spent enough time, looking at your wife or your husband to remember how much, you used to think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be able to be married to her, to be able
Right.
to spend time with her in an intimate way, or him. And so
It's like, don't you think it's like direct? You have that energy, right? You have that sexual energy or that intimate energy or whatever that is. You take it and harness it and
Right.
direct it into the appropriate, God-approved
Yeah.
channel. This is my
because
wife.
God
This is
made
my
it a
husband.
good thing with marriage.
This part of me is only for them. This is exclusive,
Right.
only for them.
Yes.
And this is something that people let slip. They think, well, it's okay, nobody will know. I'm going to look at a little bit of this, look at a little bit of that.
What's the scripture that to lust is even in your mind? It's a
Yeah, in
sin.
Matthew
What's it?
5, Jesus said, the Sermon on the Mount, he said, if any man would look at a woman with the intent of lusting after her in his heart, he's already committed adultery.
Yeah.
So it starts up here. The problem
Right.
starts up here.
Right.
And it goes back to cultivating. It goes back to really spending your time, focusing your energy on the other partner, not just sexual, but just relational,
Right.
intimate. Telling them I need time, I need attention,
Yeah.
I need physical touch, I need
Yeah.
a hug, I need a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't spent enough time together.
Right.
Any adult knows that as you get older, your life just gets busy.
Right.
And usually the first person you start neglecting is the most
Right.
important one sitting right next to you, don't you think?
Absolutely. We just went to go see Sister Wilson last week before the meeting, and I was like, we need to date. So, and I know you were tired and wanted to go home, and you needed to get into the Word. We were getting ready to go to a meeting, but I was like, nope, I need a date.
Yeah.
So sorry.
You should date.
I need a date.
You should totally.
So we went out to Cheesecake Factory. I mean, I needed some time with my husband, and I know that he was hemming and hawing, and I was just like, I had to just keep saying, I need a date. I need this time, because you know how it is. I mean, there's laundry to do. There's studying to do. There's cleaning to do. There's always something, and so. Before I got irritated about it, I just had to say, I need this, I need this, I need this. And so you don't want to wait until you're resentful because, we're talking about, maybe sex right now, but I think that loyalty and commitment can also be, we talk about lusting after someone you've already committed sin. I think it's not appropriate for you to even have, they talk about, oh, well, it wasn't a sexual relationship. It was just a mental relationship or a friend relationship. I don't think that's appropriate, because if I'm replacing somebody in my life with my husband, if I'm finding someone to fill a void, I think I don't know what you think, but I think that's inappropriate.
It's dangerous. It's inappropriate and it's dangerous. And if you're going to have an opposite sex friend, this is from a Christian perspective. This might sound to somebody who's in the secular world or ungodly world, this might sound
a little excessive fanatical.
To them,
There's
fanatical,
your word.
But hey, we're fanatics. We're not leaving any room for any issue to creep in. And we would never spend time alone or even on the phone with a friend of the opposite sex. It just wouldn't happen. If I was talking to another woman, she's going to be right there with me. If I had a friend or whatever, which I don't necessarily, any friend that I have is going to be a friend of hers too. So there's you just don't want to open the door for something to begin, because our hearts are, men and women, our hearts are wandering.
Yeah, I mean,
they wander around.
We get so fanatical. If somebody texts me or him and it goes on a little bit, we'll add the other one to the chat.
Yeah.
Because we don't want there to be any kind of even appearance of evil. Because
stay open. Don't hide stuff.
Yeah.
Stay open.
I don't want him to think there's anything squirrely going on. I don't want the other one's husband or wife. That's
part of protecting each other.
Yeah. I want to protect him. I want to protect me. I want to protect the other person. And you just... you start neglecting and getting dishonest and hiding things, and then there's bitterness and resentment, and just things can happen, and people slip and fall before you even think about it, and it's just it's a danger zone.
Well, that's exactly how it happens. If you start feeling neglected in your marriage, and you don't talk about it, and then you start getting, this is the process you just explained, then you start getting resentful. And then, this person at work or blah, blah, blah. It's so nice. I like them. They're so sweet. They take time and they pay attention. And then just subtly, just little by little, doesn't happen all at
Maybe
once,
we have lunch or
but you're just
something.
a little tiny part of your heart just starts wandering around, and you never know how far that's going to go. That's why you really have to be watch out for one another, protect one another, be totally transparent in what you're feeling. Don't allow that neglect or that resentment to start. Don't even let it get started. And if
Mhm.
it has started, pump the brakes.
Mhm.
Stop.
Mhm.
You have to start filling those voids, cuz if you leave voids or rooms, some creeper's going to come around and try to fill it, cuz people are nasty
Yeah.
and people are looking
Yeah, and they can
to.
like sniff it out.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they can
Yeah.
sniff out insecurity. It's
Sure.
bizarre. It's nasty. I mean, and communication's paramount. And these things, neglect, dishonesty, bitterness, resentment, they have to be dealt with immediately.
Immediately.
Oh my
And it'll
God.
be uncomfortable dealing with it.
Yeah.
Don't you think? It's hard to
Oh
deal with that
God.
stuff.
Totally.
Because you got to be honest and you got to be
Yeah.
like, you know what? I dropped the ball. I haven't been spending
Yeah.
enough time. I've
Mhm.
been neglecting you. I need to change it up right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we will get lazy and we'll say, we have to spend more time together, or
Hmm.
we need to
Hmm.
be more intimate, or we need to go on a date, or we need to do this, or
Yeah.
we need to do that, or we just need to talk.
Well, and it kind of sounds a little robotic, don't you think? But you need to schedule time.
Mhm.
Make time in your throughout your week, throughout your days.
Mhm.
Make sure you make time for each other.
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to use the term quality time, and it's
Mhm.
a good term, but you really have to carve
Yeah.
out quality time, because here's the thing, if you don't schedule it and do it, you'll neglect, and a
Yeah.
day or two will go by, or a week will
Mhm.
go by, a
Yeah.
week will become a month, and then all of a sudden you're wondering why you're irritated all the time.
Mhm.
And you're like, man, we haven't spent any time together. We
Yeah.
haven't gone anywhere. We haven't
Mhm.
gone on a date.
Yeah.
you know
Mhm.
don't you think you should go on a date at least once every couple weeks with your husband or wife?
Oh, yeah.
At least,
At
right?
least, at least, at
Maybe
least.
once a week.
Oh yeah. Do something.
Do something. It
Do
doesn't have to be
something.
fancy.
Do
Go
something.
get a coffee.
Do
Go get
something.
some food.
Oh yeah.
Go for a walk.
Well, and just to try to not. I mean, I know. We talk about like I'm pretty. I try to get funny because I don't want things to be boring, and he can get kind of stuffy sometimes.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes, and so I will.
No.
Now I know this sounds funny, and I know we're supposed to be like Christian, but like we used to have like old high school dances, and we'll get on the '80s music or something, and I'll just start acting like I'm singing some old slow jam or something, and it makes him laugh so hard.
It's pretty funny.
Yes, and and we'll crack up, and it's kind of like we're teenagers again, but
Right.
it's like we're at the old high school dance, having
And
a
yeah,
little having a little date.
we're not gonna say right now how old we are, but it feels like we're younger. It feels like a long
But
time ago, but yes.
doesn't it crack you up, make you feel
Yes.
like we're teenagers again?
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
just all over in love. Oh,
Yes.
like it's new
Yes.
all over again.
But the point we keep circling back to: loyalty, commitment, avoid neglect at all costs. I mean, even go too far.
Yeah.
Buy flowers, buy candies, go on dates, spend
Mhm.
time. We haven't talked about kids at all, but kids being in the picture. We don't have any little kids in the house anymore, but kids being in the picture, that's that much less time you're going to have with each other. So you really have to be kind of jealous over your time, right?
Mhm.
You need to value that time,
Yeah.
not use it as like an
Yeah,
obligation,
find a
but
babysitter,
look forward to it.
figure
Like,
it
I
out.
can't
Yeah.
wait to see you at dinner this weekend or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I I know this sounds funny, but I will even say if I'm just like and I will say, if I'm feeling like I need to feel, I need compliments, or like I'm not a big crier, or I'm not very needy. But there are some times, and the reason I'm saying this is because some people are not very needy, but there are times people need it and they need something. And so your significant other thinks, oh, they get out of the habit. So he doesn't always think about it because I'm not very needy. But there's times where I'm like, I need to hear a compliment. So I'm like, dude, I'm irritated because I feel like I have to solicit a compliment about, do I look nice or not? So,
Well, and I'm aware that
so,
I'm like that, so I have to, before she says anything, I'm not always successful, full transparency, but I have to remember, okay, doofus, you're not good about complimenting her when she looks beautiful, which is all the time, but go out of your way. It's not just, oh, she knows I think she's beautiful, but she needs to hear it, and I need to get better about getting it out of my mouth. I'm thinking it, but it doesn't always come out of my mouth. So I need to be aware of myself and my shortcomings and work on them. Work on yourself. If you have weaknesses, work on them. You know, bounce off each other. You know, try to help one another.
so I have to say, honey, you didn't tell me I look nice today. Do I look gross or something? So, but you have to say it. And sometimes I get irritated that I have to say it, but I say it because I don't want to get resentful. I don't want to get bitter about it. And, after 24 years and then 10 years before that, and I'm like, oh, I'm still having to say it. But regardless, I'm not going to stop saying it. So I don't
Keep
want to.
helping me. You're helping me.
I don't want to stop doing that
And
because
it's
you end up, before you know it, you let those bitternesses and you let those resentments build up, and you find yourself filing divorce papers.
right. And those things
And
don't
they add up.
Those things don't get fixed automatically.
No.
When you leave them alone and hope they're going to
Yes.
get better, they're not.
And they just
They're
build
not
up
gonna get better.
and more and more and more. And then you don't know how to fix them because there's so many of them.
Yeah. And they
that-
get so big.
Yeah. That you just end up you don't know how to resolve any of them because they're all like spaghetti. And
Well, and don't you think if you've got 10 years of resentment built up, it's a lot harder to deal with that because by that time you're blazing fire mad. Like
Yeah.
you're ready to choke somebody.
yeah.
It's a lot easier to deal with a week's worth of resentment than it is. So stay up to date with your partner.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
just be on top of things. You know,
Yeah.
ask them, hey, are we good? What do we need to work out here? What do we need to work on more? What do we need to pay attention to? Where are we falling short? Be purposeful about it. Look for things. Don't ever just assume everything's hunky-dory. It's like we started off. Marriage is hard work. And it can be heaven, it can be hell.
Right.
However much time you're willing to put into it, if it can be great, but if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to put time into it, don't be surprised and play stupid if things start falling apart and you're both miserable after a few
Right.
years or after 10 years or
Right.
20 years. Don't be surprised. You know whose fault it is?
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
So stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah. And if you find yourself listening to this thinking, well, what do I do if it's a bowl full of spaghetti? And, I would say put away the fire-breathing dragon, and pray and ask the Lord. If you both are willing to, put in the work, I would not take yourselves to divorce court just yet. I would ask the Lord, we want to work on this. We want to unpack this. And I know that with all confidence that if you want to work on it and unpack it little by little by little by little, that the Lord will help you unpack it one thing at a time, and just communicate. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you feel like you're going to yell and scream at each other, try to be as kind as you can and try to keep your cool. You
Yeah.
know, I know sometimes that's not always possible, especially if you've gotten to that extreme. Um, you know, I don't want to, you know, paint the picture of sunshine and daisies if it's gone that far, but
Yeah.
I don't think that
It's
I don't,
worth it's
yeah,
worth trying to fix. It's
salvage
worth
it.
trying to salvage it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I know that marriage is a good thing.
It's awesome.
God honors it and, you know, gave it to us to enjoy each other and to love each other. And, you know, wanted us to make as one. And I think He designed it so we could understand salvation, understand a relationship between a husband and a wife is the picture of salvation for us to understand how He wants us to a
Relate
relationship
to
with
him.
Him.
Hmm.
And so, if you can be successful in that, it's how we can be successful in our walk with Him. So, you know, all of that is a good thing. And so, you know, there's nothing's too hard for Him.
Hmm.
And so, you can easily back out of those things that are, you know, you feel like maybe you've gone too deep in it, but nothing's too hard for Him. So, I definitely think that anything and everything is salvageable. And as far as loyalty goes and commitment, if you're still invested in it and willing to do the work, I think anything's
Yeah.
possible.
And that's a good point. That God, if you bring God into it, hopefully you've got God in your lives, and you're going to church and you're following the Lord as best as you can. He can do amazing things as far as healing and forgiving and getting rid of um, any built up resentment, and really almost giving a fresh start.
Yes.
If
Amen.
you start cultivating and praying together, and really, really showing the other person, no matter how hard it is, I'm willing to work on this, and I'm
Yes.
willing to work it out, and I, refuse to give up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
don't give up. Anything can be repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can be repaired. Don't give up, and bring God into your home. Bring God
Mm-hmm.
into your marriage. Ask God into your heart. If you've got a problem with looking at things on the TV or on the internet, if you're a man
Mm-hmm.
or a woman, if you're looking at pornography or something, I mean, start crying out to God and
Right.
asking Him. You confess and say, I've allowed these things to
Right.
rob and to twist
Mm-hmm.
the part of me that's capable of intimacy.
Right.
I've allowed these things to come in. Please help me to be strong enough to turn away from these
Mm-hmm.
things and redirect my attention to
Right.
the love of my life, the one that
Amen.
you gave to me.
Praise God.
You'd be amazing you'd be amazed what God can
Yes.
do. He can work miracles.
Amen.
He can work miracles. So bring Him in, and don't,
Mm-hmm. Don't let it steal your
yeah,
joy,
don't let it,
because it'll
yeah.
that lets you. I mean, that very addiction will have you thinking that your sex life with your husband or wife is boring, same old, same old.
Hmm.
Um, when reality is that is not reality.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Well, and that can also, we already kind of covered this ground. We're kind of repeating ourselves, but that can lead into an actual physical encounter with another person.
mm-hmm,
So
sure,
you really have to just protect yourself and
right.
just be smart. Be smart
Yes.
about it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
And
right.
the Lord will meet your needs,
Hmm.
and then as you find that with him, then you and your spouse can meet each other's needs as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
The Lord will meet your needs spiritually, and then in the natural, physical, mental, all that, your spouse can meet those needs as
And
well.
it's okay to have
Communicate,
needs. I
communicate,
mean,
communicate. Mm-hmm.
yep. Even if you feel like you're high maintenance or whatever, be honest. You
Be
have
honest.
needs, and if you really want to let the other person meet
Right.
your needs,
Yeah.
and just really try to work with each other, and
Yeah.
like you said, communicate, communicate, communicate.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
All
Be
right.
brave. People
be
talk to
brave.
each other.
All right, folks, we love you guys. You can find these videos on my YouTube, Live for More 310, and then Becky's YouTube is Live for More. So like and subscribe these videos. If you want more of them, you can add in the comments anything you want us to talk about, any topics, and give us a little time because we're a little bit slow cranking these out. So God bless you, and we love you guys.
God bless.